Forrester stands it up. It is attacked. It is in. It's Redmond. It's 3. First class delivery from Forrester. An excellent finish from Redmond.
It is the Extratime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast coming to you from Richmond Park, where St. Pat's had a big 3-1 win against FC Vaduz in the Europa Conference League. Actually, just as I speak to you, and keep in mind it's 10:30 at night now as I speak to you. Normally teams would be packed up and gone at this stage, but a lot of the FC Vaduz players just did a session on the pitch, and when that session ended, a load of them collapsed. They didn't faint or anything, they just lied down after a very robust session. I don't think I've ever seen that from a visiting team here at Richmond Park. Anyway, St. Pat's with a very good victory here. Mulroney with 2 goals in the first half. If you haven't seen them, check them out on the St. Pat's social media channels. They were 2-0 up at the break. Vaduz got a scrappy goal early enough in the second half, but Redmond made it 3-1 when he met Chris Forrester's cross from a free kick on the left-hand side. A beautiful header. Bulger desperately unlucky not to make it 4-1 with his low header, which was magnificently saved by Liechtenstein international Buchel in the Vaduz goal. He's played 94 times for his country. The 35-year-old produced a top-drawer save to keep his team in the tie. These two will meet again next week in Liechtenstein. We'll get some reaction from Keith Treacy shortly, but first let's hear from St. Pat's manager Stephen Kenny and their captain Joe Redmond.
It's a great victory to go over there 3-1 up, but I'm sure anyone that was watching there saw that the good quality in their squad, and you've got to respect them as well going over there. Like, it's half time now, so once you go over there you've got to go out with the right game plan, and you can't rest now because we know how tough it's going to be over there, so we have to prepare right, and when we get over there show the best account of ourselves, which I thought we done tonight in spells. Yeah,
we'll talk about the second leg in a few minutes, but let's concentrate on tonight. How would you describe that performance by your team?
Energetic, ruthless, and you could see it from the first minute. I think it was Jamie Lennon flew into a tackle, and once the crowd gets going like that, the ball nearly gets sucked into the goal. So no, a lot of credit goes to the fans, because I mean the roar on all the goals, and when we needed them at the end there was excellent. And look, it's been a tough few weeks for us, but the fans here are great and they've stuck by us, so look, we hope we can go over there and get the result.
Look, you would have been motivated regardless of what happened in Derry, but you looked tonight like you had something to prove or wanted to prove something.
Yeah, look, every time we go out I think we have that mindset, and it really showed tonight that hunger and desire that mixed with excellent quality. So once you combine them together, which we know we have in there, I mean the whole squad put in some shift today in getting the results. So yeah, it's such an energetic performance, and you add that with quality and resilience, and you come out on the right side of games more or less.
We'll get to your goal, which came in the second half, but Jake's 2 goals came early enough in the game. How important was it, and how good was it that those goals, which were both quality, came early?
Yeah, they're a great feeling. I mean, it shows the quality Jake has. The free kick was unbelievable. We've seen him do that here before, and it kind of settles you into the game a little bit. I mean, there's obviously the odd bit of nerves from everyone and getting going again, but to get them 2 goals gives the whole place a lift, gives us a lift, and it's kind of momentum. And then to go back to 2-1 was a bit of a kick in the teeth. It was kind of a sloppy goal, so to go back with the 3-1 is vital. Yeah.
Talk me through your goal.
Yeah, me and Chris just nodded at each other, and we just gave each other a little nod, and it's some delivery, and I just got enough on it to guide it into the corner. So yeah, no, I am delighted, but it's an outstanding delivery from Chris as well.
That's something you've always been able to do, get on the end of things whipped into the box, whether or not it's from a free kick or whether or not it's from play. Is that something that you grew up able to do? Is that something you've worked on? Where does that come from?
I don't know, maybe I timed the flight of the ball really well. I did grow up heading the ball, that's why I'm a centre half, but no, it's something that I have done for the last few years, is get onto a lot of stuff in the box, and hopefully that can continue in reading the flight.
Look, I know you're about the team as opposed to individual accolades and individual moments, but a goal in Europe for any player who plays for this club or any other League of Ireland club, that's a big deal, isn't it? You must be delighted with it.
Yeah, look, a goal in Europe is fantastic, and I wouldn't have minded if anyone had crept in to tuck that in. I just want to win games, and I want us to progress to the next round, and that's the aim. It's all about the result, and I know it sounds like a cliche, but I do mean that in terms of we want to go through and we want to win football matches.
What has Zach brought to the team, Zach Albazetti?
Zach has brought a lot of quality, which you would have seen there. He's very quick and he's tricky, and he's played at a top level, so he's very mature, and has a great professionalism about him. So look, he was excellent tonight, and I can't wait to see more from him.
Next week in Liechtenstein, the second leg, you're going into it with a 2-goal lead. That means they have to come out and attack, and with the pace you have, you might fancy yourselves to pick them off, or you might, well, you're in a very good position either way. I know the job isn't done, but you are in a good position, granted, against the quality side, and we saw them show their quality at times tonight. Yeah,
look, we're in a good position going over with 3-1, and we've got a week to prepare for that now and go through a game plan which we think will get the job done over there, which is the main thing now, to recover and get over there, settle and go and give our best account of ourselves again.
Well done tonight, Joe. Best of luck next week.
Cheers, thanks very much.
Stephen Kenny, a 3-1 victory for your team against Vaduz tonight. Firstly, your thoughts on the performance, on the game?
Yeah, I think we came out of the traps really brilliantly, and the front four really set the tone, I felt, and Ramal Palmer really gave us a real array of skill and tricks and imagination in that early period. And Jake Mulroney obviously got two amazing goals really, and two fantastic strikes, and so we knew to concede the OG then it's a real kick in the teeth, because they had possession and they're a good team and they can overload you. Hadn't really got chances at that stage, so they conceded that. So after disappointment the weekend going out in the cup, I thought Joe Redmond showed great character to go up and get a big goal like that, big European goal. Like that's he scored in a cup final, didn't he? And he scores in a big European game. So that's definition of character, and he did brilliantly.
I know I'm massively oversimplifying, but your team had great creativity and pace tonight. Is that exactly what you were looking for? Is that exactly how it worked out?
Yeah, I mean we're still a work in progress. You know, we know that, and I think some real great. We want individuals to really show the level of skills that they have and their individual flair, and we don't want them inhibited in any way, and we want them to realise the full extent of their talent. It's very important to us. So it's not easy when you're sort of on a sort of difficult run of results. So the players, I thought, showed an awful lot tonight, but it's only half time, and I think we'll get a tough game next week, and we know that, and we're going to have to work hard.
What has Zach Elbazetti brought?
Yeah, because he hasn't played games. It was a big decision to play him and Ramal tonight, and certainly that's Ramal's best game for us, and delighted with that. Zach gives you his real speed and wide areas and intelligence, and gives a great balance. All our other wingers are all left-footed, and Alex, Brandon, even Jason, and Jake, so they can all left-footed. So Zach has given us something different, a right-footed right winger, and he can play on the other side as well, but certainly it gave us balance. We were able to use the width of the pitch, which was brought in a metre each side, so the pitch wasn't as wide as...
Which wasn't your choice, that was a UEFA thing, wasn't it?
UEFA, yeah, okay. That was a UEFA thing, because the distance between the pitch and the perimeter.
Yeah, okay.
So that was the UEFA decision, which we weren't enamoured with, but we had to agree with.
Just before I let you go, the job is not done yet, but you are in a very good position going over to Liechtenstein next week.
Yeah, that third goal was massive, and of course Aaron Bulger's header was, it looked like it was going to be 4, didn't it? And so that's the way it goes. I think with 2 goals, without doubt we'd have taken that, but it will be a tough game next week. They have a good team, and it was physical out there at times, a lot of physicality, and so we'll see.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you.
Joe Redmond and Stephen Kenny speaking to me after their 3-1 win against FC Vaduz. We'll have a reaction, by the way, from Zurich very shortly. Shelburne not having such a good night there. First, though, let's get some analysis with former St. Pat's player and Republic of Ireland international Keith Treacy following the Saints' 3-1 win against Vaduz here at Richmond Park.
I thought it was an excellent performance. I thought from start to finish, Pats were largely comfortable within the game. Vaduz had, their little periods on top, but all in all, I thought Pats were absolutely outstanding. Mulroney's free kick really got us underway. The tempo was excellent, the shape was brilliant, the work rate was everything it wanted to be. And when we won the ball in midfield, we played forward, and we played forward early, and we kept Vaduz on the back foot for long periods of the game.
The Pats fans celebrating, and why wouldn't they? Let's hope they can take one step beyond Vaduz and into the next round. For those of you who can't hear what's being played on the PA, it is madness, one step beyond. The joke is always hilarious when you have to explain it. What was different about Pats tonight compared to maybe recent weeks?
I think they just moved the ball quicker, an awful lot quicker. Defensively, we were an awful lot more solid. I spoke about a natural left footer in Breslin and Sober going to right back. That's obviously a big help. But I think Grogowski coming back in from his long-term injury, Redmond as well starting to find an awful lot of form, I think is brilliant. But Mulroney on one wing is brilliant for me, and El Boussevi on the opposite. The amount of pace now that we have on both wings, big threats, and we've got Mason in there, and Roman Palmer seems to be getting better with every game he plays.
El Boussevi did get game time at the weekend. That was his debut. Tonight was his starting debut. What did you like about him? What do you think he'll bring to this Pats team?
I like the way he receives the ball. He's very clever when he receives the ball. As you go to try and engage with him, he doesn't take the ball under control. He will always try and let it run across his body, which the left back then is struggling, because once it comes across his body, he just knocks it down the line, makes it into a foot race, and against most people in a foot race he will beat them. So I like the way he receives the ball. I like the way he goes about things, and encouraging signs early doors.
He's got a bit of an incisiveness as well, and at times in games that Pats have drawn or even lost, they've just been missing that, haven't they?
That's exactly what you need. You need people to run down the centre of the pitch. If you're running down the centre, the opposition back four will invariably come nice and narrow, and that's when you can get in behind them and hurt them, and he will definitely do that for Pats moving forward.
Did they look good at the back tonight, that back four?
An awful lot better, yeah. Huge improvements throughout the league. It's been very shaky. We've been giving up way too many opportunities. Tonight we were an awful lot more solid. As I said, I know we did concede one goal, but largely Joey Anang, Redmond, Grogowski were brilliant. And, they clicked it. They got an awful, horrible, scruffy goal, but largely defending was really good.
And the bench really contributed, didn't it?
Yeah, we're bringing the likes of Keane Levy, Jay McClellan, Kavanagh off the bench, Aaron Bolger with the legs as well. You'll always need your legs as you come into Europe. You'll always need the bench, and you could see with the likes of Forrester going off, Mason Millia, you need to come in, you need the levels not to be dropping too low, and at the minute Pats' squad is starting to take real good shape.
Ramal Palmer really impressed you this evening, didn't he?
Yeah, I just like the way he takes the ball, the composure he has. He seems to take it, and it's almost Zidane. Like, I spent so many hours over the years on YouTube watching the way Zidane's first touch, the way he manipulate the ball. He'll never receive the ball and let the ball go static, and I see little shades of that in Ramal Palmer, the way he takes the ball, keeps it moving, and just seems to take everything into his glide, into his stride. He's a really classy player to watch.
How big a difference does that Redmond goal make regards how this tie is set up going into the second leg in Liechtenstein? Granted, metres from Switzerland, but still within the borders of Liechtenstein next week.
I do think it just changes the mindset, because when Pats were 2-1 up, we were probably guilty of it up here in the gantry as well, thinking they've been a lot better than this. There could be a bigger gap, but it's 2-1 and we're all feeling a little bit bogged down. But then Joe goes and gets that brilliant header and makes it 3-1, and all of a sudden it felt right. And I think Pats now going over there, I think they'll be fairly confident. Could
this be a season, if not changing, certainly altering performance?
Yeah, definitely. Again, like, Stephen is only in the job two or so months, so the plans he's trying to get across, the tactics he's trying to get across, you're asking lads to buy into things that they haven't largely done in their careers before, but results like this will get people on side. They will start just following Stephen blindly, and that's what you need. You need your dressing room behind you, not questioning what you're doing, and as I say, with big results like this, everything will fall into line.
And rightfully, there was a lot of criticism of the team following the performance away in Derry, but tonight the fans got back behind them. That will mean something for the players. One kind of leads to the other, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course, and that's the one thing about football. It's, we can all lose games, we can all not turn up, but it's always about the next one. It's always about the reaction, and the reaction tonight was absolutely perfect.
So a good night for St. Pat's. More on this game in a moment with Barry Murphy. He'll kind of give a general overview of the week for the League of Ireland teams in Europe. But first, let's hear from Shelbourne's LOI TV commentator Stephen Doody, who was in Zurich to unfortunately watch his team lose 3-0 to FC Zurich. He very kindly sent us this voice note after the game.
Outclassed, I'd probably say, is the most accurate way of putting it. Obviously, look, you give away a goal after only a few seconds, probably game plan goes out the window. Doesn't help matters, but it felt like a real one of those. The level they were at is kind of where you're striving to get to. Just technically, they were quicker. Like players who would play in Air League that would look like, Olympic sprinters, and then when you put them out on a pitch there tonight, there's a marked difference. No lack of effort from the players, really. If anything, I'd say they showed great character too after the start we had to kind of keep it to 3. Zurich did have plenty of chances. Connor Kearns came up with an amazing save at 3-0, and I think if it goes to 4, then you're kind of really scrambling and chasing your tail. So look, a disappointed night. Not how anyone's seeing it go. There was a great Shels crowd over. Never stopped all night, in fairness to everybody, and that's just really deflating. I think the players are deflated. I think supporters are a bit deflated. It's just, don't think the players deserve to be on the end of a 3-0 scoreline, but that's football at that level. You make mistakes, especially early on in the game, and you're going to be punished for it. But I think most Shell supporters would take a step back, look at the bigger picture. I mean, getting through against St. Joseph's was a great achievement in itself, and this one, although the staff and the players wouldn't say it, this one felt like a bit of a bonus, really. And disappointing night, but to step back and look at where this club has been for the last 18 years, it's definitely progress anyway. Thanks, lads.
LOI TV commentator with Shelbourne, Stephen Doody, who was in Zurich to watch Shels lose 3-0. A tough night for them, but it was a big step up from what they faced in the last round, and who knows, maybe, just maybe, they can turn it around next week at Tolka Park. Let's hope they can. Former St. Patrick's, Bohemians and Shamrock Rovers goalkeeper Barry Murphy was on LOI TV duty, or streaming duty, for Shamrock Rovers during the week for their 2-0 defeat to Sparta Prague. He'll be back on duty next week for the second leg. It's a big ask for them to turn that Champions League tie around. Remember, they do have the safety net of the Europa Conference League, even if they lose, which is looking likely. But let's get Barry's view on that game, the St. Pat's game, and Shelbourne's result. After all the action this week, he had to think about things and sent us this voice note.
Thanks, Oisin. Tuesday night saw the 4-in-a-row champions of Ireland against the back-to-back champions of Czechia, Sparta Prague, the €4 million rated squad against the €70 million rated squad in the second round of the Champions League qualifiers. Sparta Prague, with 6 internationals who featured at the recent Euros, including Bermancevic, who came on for Serbia against England, Harazlan, who gave Kyle Walker that third time with Slovakia, and Laci, who scored against Croatia for Albania. Just a glimpse at the strength and depth in the Sparta squad. Stephen Bradley opted to go with 5 at the back, or 2 and 3 wing backs, whatever way you want to look at it, and Sparta countered by going man for man in the final third of the pitch. Without the services of the suspended Jack Byrne, injured Graham Burke and Rory Gaffney, Rovers were equally brave in how they set up, with Neil Ferrugia and Darren Nugent worked tirelessly to link midfield to lone striker Johnny Kenny. Ferrugia, playing in an unfamiliar role, tucked in centrally on the right-hand side. He caused all sorts of problems, and he should have capitalised on a goalkeeping error early on when Vindal, out of position, misplaced the pass, went straight to him, but his decision to take an extra touch meant the chance was scuffed out with the goal gaping. Rovers, like they have all season, tried to play out from the back, but instead, on the 4th to 5th time, played straight into Imanol's trap, as Dylan Watts, with his body position closed, tried to find Dan Cleary on the edge of the area, but instead found the Prague left back. His effort was blocked by poles, but Pico Lopez's clearance fell straight to that man Bermancevic, who rifled into the roof of the net. That proved to be the only goal of an engrossing first half here in Tallaght. Vitek, the £10 million centre half, was taken off alongside Bermancevic at half-time, with Lars Friis, the new man in charge of Prague, opting for fresh legs so early on in Sparta's season. Neil Ferrugia in the second half surely caught the eye of the new man charged with turning around the national team with some scintillating runs down the middle. Where their first goal was fortuitous, the second was a foregone conclusion. Scoring a very similar goal at the weekend in the opening game of the 2024 campaign in the league against Pardubice, Sparta broke down the wing on transition, and Harazlan found Wiesner at the back post, who smacked the ball into the ground and through the hands of the hapless Poles, a carbon copy of the weekend's goal. Rovers, revved up by the raucous crowd, rallied late on, and an excellent ball from Hoare found Honohan, who caught it perfectly on the meat and headed it down into the ground, only for Vindal to make an incredible save. On that same attack, another ball flashed across the face of the goal, and Honohan, still reeling from the first miss, couldn't get enough on it to turn it goalwards, and it finished Shamrock Rovers 0, Sparta Prague 2. A night of frustration for Stephen Bradley's men, but the tie is still in the balance. St Patrick's Athletic were excellent tonight. Everything they weren't on Sunday against Derry City in the FAI Cup. They bite about them, forward passing, tempo, pace on the wings in Zach Elbazetti and Jake Mulroney, which is just so vital in Europe. And they started so brightly. And I think when Jake Mulroney was standing over that free kick in the edge of the box, I'm sure for Buchel in the Vaduz goal, who's probably been watching videos of his free kicks all week, they all came to the forefront of his mind, but there's still nothing he can do about it. The ball beats him halfway up the net, and it's not one of those whipped ones. It's a kind of a low trajectory just over the wall. It's the power and top spin he can put on it with that technique. It has enough height to get over the wall, but immediately drops a couple of feet straight away, and the margin for error is just so small to beat that wall. But if it does beat the wall, it seems to inevitably go in all the time. It's the same against Shels. Keepers just seem to get nowhere near it. I thought Vaduz were awful really at the back. They were dirty and pushed their luck so much. Immediately could have been sent off twice over. Samani, the centre half, the same. And as good a team as they looked last season, they looked leggy. I know it's obviously they're only the second game of the season, but it really showed. For St. Pat's in the first half, Parmage was just lovely to watch. He was so impressive and missed hugely on Sunday. Forrester was just firing balls into him, and the way he just controlled it, and he knits the play for St. Pat's so well and just lays it off. Mason Melia was just excellent again. He just defies his age, and his reading of the game is so good, especially in defence tonight, cutting out short corners. He's just such a good footballing brain. And where Mulroney's first goal was incredible, his second was probably slightly fortuitous. He still hit it well, but there's a slight nick off the centre half to take it past Buchel to put Pats into a well-deserved 2-0 lead. Vaduz then probably cashed in their own karma card and got their own slice of luck when Pats couldn't clear and the ball fell to Danilo Del Toro, whose scuff shot was deflected in by Tom Gravossi. Nothing Joseph Langan could do about that from that range. But yeah, Joseph Langan has had a tricky enough start to life back at St. Pat's, and my God, did he pull them out tonight with a wonder save. Just turning a bending ball destined for the top corner over the bar. Just an absolutely incredible save. And that save is then compounded when a delicious ball in from Forrester a couple of minutes later couldn't help but be headed in by Captain Joe Redmond into the far corner to put them 3-1 up. To be fair to Stephen Kenny, they didn't sit back or rest on their laurels. They went for it. They smelt blood and put the foot in the neck and tried to seal the tie tonight. Bulger really sealed it late on. A brilliant ball in at the back post, and he caught it right in the meat, right in the forehead, and headed down into the ground. And it was an absolutely stunning save from Buchel, the Liechtenstein international. Moved his feet so well to move from the front post to the back post and reach out a stretched, strong left hand to turn around the post. And that save probably keeps the tie alive, but for St. Pat's, that's a brilliant position to be going in ahead of the return leg next week.
Well, that's almost it from Richmond Park, where St. Pat's had a good win against FC Vaduz in the Europa Conference League. Let's hope they can see it home next week. Details on the second leg and everything else that's happening with League of Ireland teams and within the League of Ireland on extratime.com. As always, if you could review or rate us, we'd really appreciate that. You can also get in contact with us through extratime.com. You can check out the website, by the way, for our WhatsApp number. We'd love to hear from you. Luke will be along with the podcast they're recording on Sunday night, so it'll probably be out on Monday, and you can send your voice notes to the lads. For myself, Oisin Langan, from here in Richmond Park, I will say goodbye and good luck.